possibilities. And welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. She is embodiment and visibility master, none other than Miss Jenny C Cohen.
Thank you for having me, Daniel.
Welcome, Miss Jenny. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
It would be my pleasure too. I love being here. My purpose that I have completely embraced since my breast cancer journey began and continues to be is that everyone deserves the gift and birthright of being present in their bodies, because when you are so, you can get all the answers that you need instead of searching outside of yourself for what you need to be doing at the present moment.
And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Jenny. Thank you. And today, let's talk about embodied leadership. So tell us, embodied leadership sounds abstract. Could you
Mhm.
define it not with a textbook definition, but by describing the difference between a leader who disconnected from their body and who is fully embodied?
I love this question, Daniel. What is it? What does it mean to be a fully embodied leader? Most of us, in my mind, the way I grew up, because I'm now in my late 50s, is leaders who are um, never weak, always sure exactly where they're going, and they never show any weakness. And the key to the current need for an embodied leader is someone who admits when they don't know the answers and are willing to explore with you to find the answers. The key these days is everyone wants an easy fix. We have AI now, Daniel, that seems like it can solve answers and solve your questions by giving you answers within seconds. The key to true leadership is knowing sometimes the answers require you being very grounded in yourself and being able to say, I don't have the answer, and I'm willing to find it out with you.
Interesting, Miss Jenny. This is not just about soft skills. How is it embodying leadership? A radical shift from leading from neck up, from idea strategy alone, to integrating the intelligence of the entire nervous system.
That's exactly what it is, Daniel. What happens is when you're disconnected from the body and the mind, we start to be more worried cognitively than actually being present in the moment. So when you're tuned in to your body, which is actually able to sense more of the senses beyond the five senses. So we have sense of smell and taste and hearing and touch and visual. There are actually other senses, like being able to sense the feeling in a room or even being able to sense where your body is moving in space. Those are extra senses that are actually accessed through the body. We think it's through the mind, it's actually through the body.
You often talk about the body as a leader, most precise instrument. What is the tune or in tune to detect that the conscious mind alone often misses, and how does change decision making?
Interestingly enough, there's more scientific research now, Daniel, that talks about that the nerves in the brain cells are also replicated in similar cells in the gut and the heart, and now even more in different parts of the body. So there's actually an active conversation happening right now throughout the body between organs and even between organs in the brain. So when you start to open up that awareness, oftentimes to be a true leader is someone who's really in touch with themselves from the neck down.
Interesting answer, Miss Jenny.
Mhm.
And many people think this is just about power, process, and
Mhm.
confident posture. How do authentic embodied presence fundamentally different from just managing your body language?
This is a wonderful question. I remember when I was taking acting classes, there were different schools of acting in terms of training for roles, Daniel, especially if you're tackling a role you're not familiar with or you've never experienced. People would be teachers would tell us as students, oh, just imagine it or put yourself in a similar situation. And I had a teacher who actually said sometimes that's not possible. It's better for yourself to be more aware of the levels of energy that replicates certain feelings. So when you're asking this question, it's just being aware enough in yourself of your own tools of expression versus this automatic installation of, like, if my hands are on my waist, that means a power pose, right? Some of
Yes.
these exercises that people are taught, they're actually supposed to be done behind the scenes so that when you're in front of people, you've done the work to feel really strong in your own power. They're not done as a automatic robotic response to have people think that you're feeling powerful. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, Miss Jenny. So imagine a high stakes meeting. What
Mhm.
are the specific internal somatic cues an embodied leader might notice in themselves?
So let's differentiate in that timing of the meeting, okay? An emergency meeting is different from something that has been scheduled and you know is going to be pivotal coming up. Does that make sense? So, an emergency meeting, something that is of the moment, or for example, they call you into a meeting and you're getting a pay cut with no notice, right? And you still want to be seen as a leader. That's a different type of preparation than if you know you have a big presentation coming up in a month and you have a month's preparation with the full team. Let's do the second case scenario first. If you know you have a big presentation coming up, it is vital for you to be doing simple things like self care at least 2 weeks prior to the actual presentation, Daniel, because it's going to affect you in the long term if you've been taking care of your self care in terms of eating well, hydrating well, resting well, exercising well, sleeping well. That's going to affect your overall performance the big day. All right. You want
Hmm.
to make sure that your presentation is well prepared. Please don't do stuff off the cuff. Very few people are successful doing that. So if you have to do a presentation, that requires some form of practice of the actual script. If you want to go a little bit further, you would film yourself and then critique yourself as a neutral being, how you are presenting that. All right. The second scenario where something unexpected comes up, that is going to be related to the self care that I was referring to, done on a regular basis all the time, so that you are drawing on a foundation of strength, not a, oh, I'm just going to fake it at the moment. Does that does that resonate with you, Daniel?
Yes. Fake it till you make it. And practice make you perfect, people. How can connecting the body help leader assess more confident, grounded, and authentic? Know or set a crucial boundary rather than one that comes from resentment or frustration.
So I'm going to tell you a story about what happens when you go to a show where a dance performer is so well versed in how her body or their body is being presented on stage that they can tune in to the energy of the audience and be willing to give up choreography they planned if they're getting messaging that the audience needs something different. So when you're in a leadership position, you may have your idea of where you want to go. You still have to be so grounded in the moment that you can sense when there's a shift in the room of emotions and you need to address that before it becomes resentment. And that means also, to tie back to a point you made earlier when we first started, about being aware that if you know where your energy is and your ability to set boundaries or to give a little bit more, then there won't be the resentment from you. And then you're going to be aware of the resentment coming from other people that you're working for you.
Miss Jenny, on personal journey and integration, what a specific moment or crisis in your own leadership journey that revealed the critical limitation of not being embodied? What is your body trying to tell you that initially ignored?
Oh, that's a good question. Back before I was even a mother, that's 20 something years ago, I used to work in the New York, a New York based hospital. And I was a new grad from my master's degree in occupational therapy. And I co worked with another physical therapist, and we were in charge of post op cardiac clients. So these are people who just had open heart surgery. And I remember there was a lot of resentment from this coworker, and I myself felt really insecure about being ahead of the OT, the occupational therapy department. And so, because I wasn't paying attention to my own insecurities, I allowed him, this other person of the physical therapy department, to um, keep me feeling very insecure all the time, where I stood in terms of the importance of the department, because I served a very vital role. However, because I was insecure, I wasn't paying attention to when he was playing games. Does that make sense, Daniel? And it just took a while in retrospect after I left the position to understand, whoa, I really allowed my buttons to be pushed when I really needed to hold firm to the value I provided to the team.
Miss Jenny, how does finding and trusting the physical support of your breath and posture change the way you express your most courageous and authentic voice, especially when under pressure?
This is a good question.
Yes.
We never realize how much we actually hold our breath throughout the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, audience members who are listening to this, and you can, oh, goodness, where'd you go? There you are. So, audience members, if you feel that you want to do this exercise, do this with us, okay? But for Daniel and I'm going to have you try something with me where I'm going to have you just close your eyes for a second. And I'll close them with you.
Great.
And then close your eyes and then just raise one arm up in the air.
Okay.
All right. And then pay
Yeah.
attention. Did you breathe or did you accidentally hold your breath? Totally normal
Yes.
most of the time, right? We don't
Yes.
realize that we're not breathing when we should be. And so it becomes this delicate art of practicing breath work outside of high pressure situations. And then over time, it becomes more automatic that when you're moving, you will be breathing. It just takes some very conscious practice of it in the behind the scenes so that you'll start to do it in front of people.
Interesting tip, Miss Jenny. I love it. And many leaders are rewarded for relentless drive, which is often means overriding the body's signals of fatigue and stress. How do you
Mhm.
help high achievers reinterpret these signals not a weakness but a crucial data?
All right. So for my men and women, and however you identify, if you're below 30, okay, that's the perfect age if you're below 30 to start understanding that there's no need to burn the candle at both ends. All right, that's important because eventually the candle does get burnt down on both ends and you have no fallback. When we're younger, I remember being younger thinking, oh, I'll have time to rest later, not realizing that I didn't have anything to rest with. And that's when I got my breast cancer in my 40s. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So part of that is understanding that yes, you need to work hard and smart and still take your rest and still be exploring outside of what your immediate society is saying that you need to do, and be really clear and be doing the breath work, doing the self-care so you're more aware of when you're tired. Because after 30, I'm going to address those because I'm in my 50s now. Those of us who are after 30, women are hitting perimenopause. Men are not hitting perimenopause. However, men over 40 in their 50s start to experience what we jokingly call manopause. So men do go through, right? We go through, everyone goes through this beginning decrease of hormones because as we age, There are other reasons. Sometimes it's environmental, sometimes it's diet, it's stress related, but our hormones start to decrease. And what not enough people are talking about is that that affects our recovery. And so our ability to rebound starts to decrease over time. You may not consciously be aware of it, but your body's very aware of it. So as you get a little bit older, you still want to be paying attention, because sometimes it sneaks up on you a little bit, Daniel. Like, we may not notice day to day that our recovery or our lack of sleep is increasing brain fog. But if you start looking at it from like a year ago, or maybe 6 months ago, you'll notice, yeah, it actually is taking me a little bit more time. So it's been incrementally affecting us. And it's the key is, if you're hearing this right now, take a step back and go, oh, have I been neglecting what I need and just pushing, pushing, pushing? Because when you're doing that, you're not actually present and open to when your body's giving you downloads about what you need.
Interesting, Miss
Hmm.
Johnny. And how does creating even a micro moment of somatic awareness create a critical gap between a triggering event and your leadership response, moving you from reactive to creative?
Oh, this is an excellent, excellent, excellent question. I'm so glad you asked this question, Daniel. The When you're taking a moment to get present, and I have a very simple exercise for that, because it lights up neurologically, lights up every part of your brain and kind of unites it into one moment. It's when you tune into your five senses. So first, if you smell, take a breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and then think of your favorite smell. for
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's always Earl Grey tea. I love Earl Grey tea. The bergamot oil in it is a natural antidepressant, so I don't have to be on medications. Yeah. So you
Mm-hmm.
smell your favorite smell, then take a moment, and if you have something that you're drinking, take a sip of it and taste that taste. I usually have Earl Grey tea with me, right? So I smell and I taste. I have clients that like the taste of butter, whatever helps you. Yeah. So smell, taste,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start to tune into your surrounding sounds. If you're listening to this interview or watch, I think it's just listening, right? Or we are
Yes.
watching. Yeah, well,
Watching, yeah.
both. Hmm.
Both.
You can listen to my voice and tune into what's in your room, in your setting. Okay, so smell, taste, hearing, and then you're gonna feel your feet and your on your floor. If you're seated, your butt in your seat. Okay, and
Mm.
then keep tuning to all four senses: smell, favorite taste, or what you just took a sip of, hearing of mine and Daniel's voices, your butt in your seat, and your eyes will stay open, and you're going to start to tune into the peripheral vision, meaning your eyes stay front, but you can start seeing everything to the sides. If you're moving my fingers, I can see them right over here without my eyeballs moving. Tune into all of those five senses. That means all those areas in your brain are being lit up right now because you're tuning into them. And then you take a breath in and then exhale through your mouth. Feel all five senses at the same time. That actually unites the mind and body so that you can be more attuned to what's happening inside your body, one, and also what's happening around you. Because I've done this multiple times during the day for the last 3 or 4 years, it's hard, but I put in my calendar to remind me. I'm very attuned to the important people in my life, and also knowing when not to worry about the people who are not really relevant, but I could get caught up in it. So this helps you start to be able to feel intuitively in your gut, which will speak up more because you're in tune to the moment. What's a drama llama and what's a real important thing for you to address?
This journey on challenges and the future. What is the greatest resistance you face when introducing this concept in a traditional data driven corporate environments, and how do you overcome it?
That's a good question, because most corporate environments are really, their bottom line is, what does that relate to dollar value? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, for my leaders, you must understand that it is actually directly correlated to output in the long term. Because if a company is then caught up in expenses more for more sick days, whether or not they're valid in the future, and also the quality of output. There are companies, and then you'd have to make a decision for yourself if that's really more important for you. where the major out, it's just the numbers, right? Are you, if you're not making enough, we're going to get rid of you or we'll cut your pay, that type of thing. For the
Mhm.
corporate people, understand that then that will ultimately decrease the company's value because people talk, right? If someone's not happy, they're complaining and talking to other people. The actual review level of your company, the numbers are good, the people willing to work with your company may be affected. Now, of course, certain job markets right now, they're inundated, right, with very little jobs and a lot of people applying. You're still going to be aware that the people that you would really want may not come to your business because they know there's a reputation for you not really caring about them as people. That's number one. Two, for the person who's in the employee situation, again, they have scientific research now that actually correlates unhappiness to health. There's a direct correlation now. So if you're unable to stay present in yourself and what you can and cannot do, it will affect your health in the long run. Which then, of course, if you are with a company where you're insured, that's going to increase the company's premiums. So company corporate people rarely think of it that way. They're more worried about, well, how do I prove that my branch of the company is making enough money, or our numbers are showing the correct KPIs, right? And ultimately, though, for the longevity of the company, and some people looking to actually sell their companies, you want to look at also this ability to keep your actual workers present enough so they're honest about when they can and cannot do the work you want them to do, and then you can take steps to improve that situation.
Miss Jenny, it often feels like a personal practice. How do you scale embodied leadership beyond the individual to become a shared capability across an entire leadership team or organization?
Oh, I love this question. I wish more people would ask me that, Daniel. Yeah, if you're in a leadership position and this is very intriguing to you, I would really love for you to incorporate the whole being present exercise that I gave to you. That sounds woo woo, but actually will increase output in your employees if you were to do that at the beginning of any meetings, or you were to encourage that that was put into the calendar. This actual exercise takes no more than 3 minutes. 3 minutes that can possibly increase the output of your employees and even in yourself in the long term pretty quickly. What happens is, if you're in a corporate setting where it's not really worried whether or not your nervous system, the employees' nervous systems are regulated, that can actually become a negative energetic influence that slowly spreads throughout the company. So be aware that there's now even more energy. Energy affects when people aren't happy, but it's not addressed or spoken of. Now, just as the science is starting to be able to measure that and bring that forward, the goal is that you would take the steps before the science proves it, and you will see the numbers improve in your business.
Miss Johnny, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season. Abstract poetry in second season. I'm a book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season. And my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in third season, and my baby podcast Low 101 and Mental Health 101 Love Letters in fourth season, as well as my movie 101 review, Music 101, and Science 101 and Sex 101 and in second season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Jenny, if the next generation of leaders fully embrace this embodied approach, how would our generation or organizations and our definition of success fundamentally change?
The ideal would be that the employer and the leaders and the workforce are united in being able to be fully present, so that the actual company's goals will be in alignment with the individual's goals, and then that company's unstoppable.
Unstoppable indeed, Miss Jenny C Cohen. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Oh, thank you, Danielle. Please go get your free gift at danceandheal.com. We're launching an event in 2026, and I love for you to be a part of the email list once you get your gift.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Jenny C. Cohen because if you support her for sure, more and more embodied leadership will rise. So, Miss Jenny, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Daniel.
Monica, people, see you soon.